ill-gotten wealth case laban sa mga Marcoses dismissed na naman, mga kabutero. Ano ba yan? Ano na? Mga kakamping, mga dilawang pig CPP, ano nang nangyayari sa inyo? Dismiss na naman. Parang mukhang paubos na ng paubos yung bala nyo dyan, guys. Kasi, eto na naman, may dismiss na naman kaso dito sa ill-gotten wealth case ng mga Marcoses. Ayan tayo Okay, basahin natin yung balita, guys. Ito yung balita kasi. Ayan. Ang sabi, Supreme Court affirms dismissal of ill-gotten wealth case versus Marcoses and businessman Lucio Tan. Yan ang sinasabi natin Paano na lang yung drama nyo na Marcos magnanakaw? Civil case 0005 if I'm not mistaken. Ito po yung kaso na yan. Ayan, the Supreme Court has affirmed the 2012 Sandigan Bayan decision. Tagal na pala nito. So, apela pala to. Inakit sa Supreme Court. 2012 pa yung decision, pero iniakit sa Supreme Court. Okay. Inapela doon. That dismissed the ill-gotten wealth case filed against the late President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos and several associates led by businessman Lucio G. Tan. Ito yung isang quote doon sa desisyon sa Supreme Court. Sabi, here, even if we apply the comprehensive definition of ill-gotten wealth, the pieces of evidence relied upon by the Republic, represented by the PCGG, failed to establish all its elements. Notably, some of these pieces of evidence are even of doubtful admissibility. Ang sakit naman basahin nito, PCGG. Ang sakit naman basahin nito. Anong sinabi sa Tagalog? Kahit to gamitin natin yung pinakamalawak na definisyon ng ill-gotten wealth, hindi pa rin daw pasok yung inihabla ng PCGG. Dahil hindi raw napatunayan, failed to establish all its elements. Hindi raw naipakita lahat ng elemento na magsasabi na may ill-gotten wealth or may ninakaw or may ill-gotten wealth na nakuha ang mga Marcoses dito sa transaksyon na to. Okay, notably, ito pa yung pinakamasakit mga kotsero itong notably. Notably, some of these pieces of evidence are even of doubtful admissibility. Ito rong iba, meron dong ibang ebidensya na hindi tayo sigurado kung dati na bang tinanggap. Pero bago po natin ipagpatuloy ang ating kwentuhan dito sa topic na ito, magsha-shoutout muna tayo sa mga kaibigan natin sa Sendwave! Kung kayo po ay nasa US, UK, Canada, Italy, France, Spain, Ireland, and Belgium, ay pwede na po ay magpadala na inyong mga remittances dito po sa Pilipinas using Sendwave. Ang gagawin nyo lang ay i-download ang Sendwave app. Gumawa kayo ng account dyan, lagay nyo ba account details nyo dyan, at pwede na ay magpadala sa GCash, sa mga bangko, at iba't ibang mga pawn shops dito sa ating bansa. At kapag ginamit ko pa po ang aking promo code na Coach Jarret, ay makakuha pa kayo ng karagdagan $20 free credit. Kaya yan, ganito na po sa Sendwave for all of your remittance needs. Mag-iiyakan na naman ang nito. Mga dilawang pig CPP. Lalo na yung mga aktivista dyan sa tabi-tabi, mag-iiyakan na naman kayo. The Supreme Court's full court decision was written by Associate Justice Rodil V. Zalameda and was made public on Tuesday, November 14. Actually, dinownload ko yan Sana ba yung dinownload ko kanina? Ayan, Sandigan Bayan, 5th Division, Lucio G. C. Tan, Estate of Ferdinand E. Marcos, Imelda Marcos, Aimee Manotok, Irene M. Araneta, and Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., and Imelda R. Marcos, etc. Ang dami niya, no? Ito raw kasi yan ganap. Ito raw kasi yung nangyari, guys. Ayan, The complaint was filed by the PCGG in 1987. Sabi, napakatagal na nito. 1987 pa. I think this is 1 year after kinidnap si Apo Lakay papuntang Hawaii. With the death of the former president, his heirs, among them the now President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., were named respondents. O sila daw kasi yung sila yung isa sa mga kinasuhan dito. Marami, di ba? Nakita niyo naman. Ay, ang dami niya, no? Simula kay Lucio Tan, Pamilya Marcos, yan. Tapos may mga nasa ilalim pa. Ang dami, oh. Yan. So, ano nangyari? It involved reversion, reconveyance, restitution, accounting, and damages against the Marcoses and the business associates. Ibig sabihin, number one, ibabalik yung pera. Tapos ibabalik yung mga quote-unquote ninakaw. Restitution for damages, so dagdag yun. Babayaran mo yung yung mga damages. Tapos reversion, etc. etc. Against the Marcoses and the business associates. Ang dami nun. The main civil case includes the related incidents. The main civil case including the related incidents were dismissed by the Sandigan Bayan. Noon pa to, 2012 pa. 2012 pa ho ito na dismiss. Kaso, yun nga, iniakyat sa Korte Suprema. Ayun lang, syempre, sa dami-dami ng ginagawa ng mga justices ng Supreme Court natin, baka kailangan talaga pag nilay-nilayan. Kasi, this is a case of absolute historical importance. Diba? Kasi, madalas na sinasabi ng mga dilawamping CPP, Marcos magnanakaw. Diba? Marcos magnanakaw daw paano ngayon yan? Napapatunayan kayong mali. Sige. Sabi, in denying the petitions, the Supreme Court upheld the findings of the Sandigan Bayan that the pieces of evidence presented by the PCGG, ito yung pinaka, masakit sa lahat, yung mga ebidensya raw na ipinakita ng PCGG failed to establish that the assets and properties covered in the complaint were illegally acquired. At Tagalog, ang iba't ibang ebidensya na ipinakita ng PCGG ay hindi sapat para patunayan na ang mga kayamanan at ari-arian na ninakaw daw na nasa reklamong ito ay totoong ninakaw. Alam nyo, nakakaawa ang PCGG recently. The past few years, ang dami nilang talo, promise. parang ilang lang. Ilan lang ang naipanalo nila for the past few years? 3? 3 kaso? Tapos yung iba, inahapila pa sa Supreme Court hanggang ngayon. Ano daw yung mga pinakitang ebidensya? Among the pieces of evidence presented by the PCGG were former First Lady Imelda R. Marcoses' amended answer, Tan's written disclosure, and Marcos Jr.'s testimony and documents found by the Commission during its investigations. Ito rin yung mga ebidensyang nakita pero hindi sapat. Tinimbang kita, ngunit kulang. Ang sabi ng Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled, it appears, however, that none of the pieces of evidence relied upon by the Republic, or PCGG, was successful in establishing the manner by which respondents Marcoses allegedly acquired ill-gotten wealth. It was not shown through these pieces of evidence if and how the respondents took undue advantage of their office, authority, influence, connections, or relationship. Ano ba yung kaso na ito? Nung binasa ko ito kanina, hindi ko po binasa ng buong detalye kasi galing po ako sa klase. So pinasadahan ko lang siya. Marami dong ari-arian na meron dong pagbebenta ng ari-arian na in-undersell, binenta ng mas mura, tapos parang lumalabas, yung sobra, yun yung pinaghati-hatian daw ng mga Marcoses at kanyang mga kasama sa conspiracy. Tulad nito, in the complaint, the Republic sought to recover ill-gotten wealth allegedly acquired by Marcos respondent Imelda and respondent Tan, which was purportedly demonstrated in the following instances. Liquidation of General Bank and Trust or GenBank, and respondent Tan's acquisition of its assets through Allied Banking, or now known as Allied Bank, without sufficient collateral and consideration. Tan's delivery to Marcos and respondent Imelda of substantial beneficial interest in shares of stock in Asia Brewery. Asia Brewery stocks beginning July 1977 in exchange for concessions and privileges for his business ventures. Ibig sabihin, ang ibinayad daw, ang pinangsuhol daw ni Lucio Tan sa mga Marcoses noong 1977 ay mga shares of stock ng Asia Brewery para bigyan daw ng mga pabor si Lucio Tan sa kanyang negosyo. Ano pa yung mga inakusa? Respondent Tan's delivery of improper gifts, bribes, concessions, and or guaranteed dividends. Siyempre, yung kita ng shares, ibibigay daw sa mga Marcoses and respondent Imelda, allegedly in consideration of their continued support for or their ownership of interest in his business ventures. Grabe. Ang dami na agad. Ito pa. Marami to mga kochero. In fairness dito sa PCGG, ang dami nilang binatong kaso. The establishment of shareholdings incorporated to prevent the disclosure and recovery of their allegedly illegally obtained assets. The public alleged that shareholding incorporated beneficially held and or controlled substantial shares of stock in Fortune Tobacco, Asia Brewery, Foremost Farms, Himmel Industries, Silangan Holdings, and Allied Bank. So dito raw sa anim na negosyo na ito, dito raw kumukuha ng improper gifts, bribes, concessions, and guaranteed dividends ang Marcos at si respondent Imelda. Galing. Tapos ito pa, yung the sale of the controlling interest of DBP in the Century Park Sheraton Hotel owned by Maranao Hotels and Resort Corporation to Sipalay Trading Corporation, a company controlled by respondent Tan. The Republic alleged that the sale caused losses to DBP amounting to millions of pesos because Sipalay Trading was grossly undercapitalized. Okay, yung pati BIR nadamay. The BIR strip stamps worth billions of pesos allegedly without legal authority and affixing them on packs of cigarettes produced by Fortune Tobacco, and the establishment of Northern Redrying Company Incorporated, a Virginia tobacco company, which on several instances imported and purchased tobacco in excess of the ceilings allowed by law. Okay, so lahat ng krimen na ito, lahat ng aligasyon na ito, mga kotsero, binabato nila kay Apulakay at kay Madam Imelda. Bakit daw ganon? Kasi daw, nagbibigay daw kasi ng bribes at ng concessions. Pinagbibigyan ba? Nagbibigay ng pampadulas para yung negosyo daw ni Lucio Tan mas lumaki. Ano sabi ng Supreme Court? Yung pinakamasakit sa lahat. PCGG, sana binasa nyo ng taimtim itong decision na to. Anong sinabi? It appears, however, that none of the pieces of evidence relied upon by the Republic was successful in establishing the manner by which respondents Marcos allegedly acquired ill-gotten wealth. Wala rong ebidensya na nagsabi na kumita ang mga Marcoses dun sa inakusa ng PCGG. It was not shown through these pieces of evidence if and how respondents took undue advantage of their office, authority, influence, connections, or relationship. Hindi raw napatunayan na mga ebidensya na ipinakita ng PCGG na ang mga Marcoses ay nag-take advantage ng kanilang posisyon bilang presidente at asawa ng presidente, ang kanilang otoridad, impluensya, koneksyon at pagkakarelasyon kay Lucio Tan. Wala raw napatunayan, guys. Wala. Wala raw sa ebidensya. It pointed out that the recovery of ill-gotten wealth with its laudable purpose initiated as it is, not only out of considerations of simple justice, but also out of sheer necessity, places a heavy responsibility on the Republic and poses a demanding task for the Sandigan Bayan and in this court. Dahil daw mabigat daw yung yung kaso, kailangan daw talagang pag-aralan na maigi. Okay. And the party seeking the recovery, the Republic, has the burden of establishing its claim through admissible and relevant evidence. Kailangan daw, kapag ikaw daw ay may naghahabla, ay meron kang, kapag ikaw daw ay may inaakusa, kailangan daw meron kang relevant evidence. Hindi yung bato ka lang ng bato ng kung ano-ano, di ba? Kailangan may ebidensya ka sa inaakusa mo. Dahil ikaw nag-aakusa, kailangan patunayan mo yung inaakusahan mo. Ganun na kasimple. As vanguards of justice, the Sandigan Bayan and ultimately this court, dalawang korte na yan, Sandigan Bayan at Supreme Court, have the obligation not only to meticulously analyze and weigh all the averments and pieces of evidence, separating the unsubstantiated from those proved. O kailangan daw pakiwalayin yung mga wala namang yung ebidensya na hindi naman napatunayang totoo doon sa mga napatunayang totoo. Discarding the irrelevant and inadmissible, but also to ensure that issues already passed upon are not litigated anew. Res judicata po yan, mga kotsero. Ibig sabihin, kapag ito po, ang pag-isang kaso ay nahusgahan na in the past, hindi na ho pwedeng litisin ulit. Res judicata. So aside from the Marcos heirs and Tan, also named respondents in the civil case were the latter's family members and business associates. Identified in the ill-gotten wealth case were Tan's companies to which the late then President Marcos and Mrs. Marcos allegedly gave up concessions to or have interest or beneficial ownership. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Ang dami niya. Ito yung mga negosyo. The companies included were Shareholdings Inc., Asia Brewery, Allied Bank, Fortune Tobacco, Maranao Hotels, Virginia Tobacco Redrying Plant, Northern Tobacco Redrying Plant, Foremost Farms, Sipalay Trading, Himmel Industries, Grand Span Development, Basic Holdings Corporation, Progressive Farms Incorporated, Manufacturing Services and Trading Corporation, Allied Leasing and Finance Corporation, Jewel Holdings Incorporated, Iris Holdings and Development Corporation, and Virgo Holdings and Development Corporation. Napakarami namang negosyo na ito. Inakusan nyo talaga lahat sa mga Marcoses, ano? Parang, kulang na lang binato nyo yung kitchen sink. Ba't kayo ganyan, PCGG? Parang parang ano siya, parang nag-archery. Paramihan ng binabato mo na pana, tapos hoping na makabullseye ka. Diba? Parang dart. Paramihan ng binabatong dart, hoping makabullseye. In its decision, the SC noted, sabi po ng Supreme Court, na meron daw kasing amended answer si Madam Imelda. She merely stated that Marcos had 60% beneficial ownership in Tan's companies. So meron talaga pala. May beneficial ownership. Which beneficial interests were held in trust by the business tycoon and his associates who were stockholders of the said companies. There is nothing, however, in said amended answer that would even suggest that undue advantage of office, authority, influence, connections, or relationship was employed to facilitate the acquisition by Marcos of his 60% beneficial ownership in respondent Tan's companies. Anong sabi? Oo, meron siyang 60% in beneficial ownership. Diyan, sabihin meron siyang shares. Diyan sa mga negosyo na yan. 60%. Pero wala namang nagpapakita, wala namang ebidensya na naipakita ang PCGG na ang beneficial ownership na ito ay nakuha ng Apolacay sa pamamagitan ng pagte-take advantage ng kanyang opisina, autoridad, impluwensya, koneksyon, at relasyon. Walang ganun. So, legal. Yung ill-gotten wealth nyo, naging legal wealth. It said that Tan's written disclosure cannot be admitted as evidence for the failure of the prosecution to present him as a witness to authenticate the document. Ba't kasi hindi nyo nilabas, PCGG? Ba't nyo nilabas si Lucio Tan para i-authenticate niya yung dokumentong sinasabi nyo? Weird. Tan's 1986 disclosure was used by the PCGG to prove the 60-40 business arrangement between the businessman and the late President Marcos, including the supposed incorporation of holding companies for the latter's benefit. As a rule, before a private document is admitted, it must be authenticated. Ayun. Hmm. Kailangan daw masiguro muna na yung yung dokumento na yun ay totoo. Either by the person who executed it, kung sino yung nagpapirma doon sa dokumento, the person before whom its execution was acknowledged, kung sino yung pumirma, any person who was present and saw it executed, mga witnesses, or who after its execution saw it and recognized the signatures, kahit sino daw na nakakita ng mga signatures at inauthenticate yung signatures, probably yung mga lawyers, di ba? Meron naman mga abogado yung mga yan. Or the person to whom the parties to the instruments had previously confessed execution thereof. O kung sino daw ang nagpatupad ng dokumento na yun. Kahit sino daw na nagpatupad nun. Wala. Walang naipakita. Hindi nailabas ng PCGG. So paano na? The written disclosure cannot be admitted as evidence of the truth of its contents. The Republic did not present Respondent Tan, the one who executed the document, as witness. Bakit nga naman? Bakit hindi nyo inilabas si Lucio Tan? Siya naman pala nag-execute ng dokumento. As such, Respondent Tan was not cross-examined on the statements he made in the written disclosure. The hearsay rule excludes evidence that cannot be tested by cross-examination. So, chismis pa ngayon ang ending ng papeles. Hearsay. Hearsay daw. On Marcos Jr.'s testimony on the purported meetings with his father on the 60-40 business arrangement, the SC said Marcos Jr.'s testimony was hearsay which cannot be used by the prosecution. O ganun din. Kasi wala rong personal knowledge si now President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Wala rin siyang personal knowledge. Naririnig lang niya. Thus, the court finds that Marcos Jr.'s testimony is hearsay and may not be used to prove the truth of the facts asserted. Hearsay evidence, whether objected or not, cannot be given credence for it has no probative value. Hindi mo talaga pwedeng yan. Sabi nga, kasi walang probative value. But paano mo siya titingnan? Chismis nga. Paano mo iimbestigahan? Chismis nga. Ay, nako. Lampasan natin kay Zalamea. The dispositive portion of the Supreme Court full court decision, sabi, ito yung dispositive portion. Premises consider the court rules on the present consolidated petitions as follows. GR 195837, okay, February 25, 2011 are affirmed. Ito sa Sandigan Bayan. The Sandigan Bayan's dismissal of the complaint against respondents Don Ferry and Cesar Zalamea is declared valid. Tapos yung certiorari doon sa August 2, 2011 are confirmed. Ito yung yung mga kasama. Ang dami. Talo talaga si PCGG pa ulit-ulit. GR 203592, the Sandigan Bayan decision dated 11 June 2012 and resolution dated 26 September 2012 dismissing the Republic's second amended complaint for diversion, reconveyance, restitution, accounting, and damages are affirmed. Consequently, the petition for review and certiorari of the Republic of the Philippines is denied for lack of merit. Ouch! So in short, talo ang PCGG. Supreme Court na to, guys. Last na to. Wala na. Pagkatapos nito, wala ka nang pupuntahan. Ang shikit na men. Ano kaya reaction ng mga Dilawang Pig CPP ngayong araw na to nung nabalitaan nila itong dismissal na to? Pero mga kotsero, once again, this only proves na yung pinapaniwalaan natin na ang si Apo Lakay ay inosente. Inosente, mga kakotsero, sa mga aligasyon na ibinabato ng mga Dilawang Pig CPP. This only proves that our belief is true. Totoo po ang ating pinapaniwalaan, totoo po ang ating pinaninindigan, at tayo po ay tumatayo sa posisyon ng hustisya. Kaya congratulations sa Marcos family. Okay, congratulations for winning this case. And hopefully, sa mga ibang kaso, ganito rin ang maging resulta. Hindi ba? So mga kutsero, hanggang dito lang po muna tayo sa video na ito. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan mag-subscribe sa Coach Jarret YouTube channel and paki-follow na rin po tayo sa ating Facebook page, and I'll see all of you in our next live stream. Bye everyone. See you next time. Bye!